So, the Grammys happened yesterday, February 5th, 2023, the 65th annual Grammys. And this is where we got this wonderful picture of Kendrick and Jay-Z embracing each other. Well, mostly Kendrick being there and Jay-Z looking like the uncomfortable uncle. But, the Grammys is always an interesting time because half the people who watch it or who talk about it really don't like it. And then the other half are like, yeah, that's cool. And then I guess the other half, but not even a half because that's not how that works. The rest of the people who don't really care, they don't care. The Grammys don't exist to them. And they're probably like me and realize that the Grammys happened at like 10 p.m. last night. So, we're on top of things, to say the least. So, but regardless, the Grammys have always been this like award show that everyone kind of looks to and like uses as validation for themselves. It's like, oh yes, I have good taste in music because I listen to Grammy Award winners. But sometimes you just listen to whatever you want to listen to. Maybe don't listen to what other people say. Like me, I'm just talking out of my ass sometimes. But with all that said, I have a bunch of stuff to pull up about the Grammys. And now, because we have this page here, we're going to start off with record of the year, I guess, because that's there. And to be honest, I kind of expected this. Out of the other tracks, because I think we did do our predictions on the OK We're Live stream, but I think we had predicted that either Lizzo or Harry Styles was going to win that, and no surprise, it was one of the two. It's almost like TikTok has infiltrated everyone's world, and if you want to know about new music, you're going to go to TikTok first, because you're just going to be bombarded with the same sound over and over again. But before I get into all the ones that are here on this page directly, I'm going to go for my order because that sounds more fun. So in the pre-show stuff, we had best rap song, and that was between Kendrick, Future, Gunna, DJ Khaled, and not Drake. That definitely wasn't just Drake. That was also Jack Harlow. But yeah, Kendrick won, and that should be no surprise to anybody because everyone feels bad about Kendrick not getting the Grammy that one time, and they don't want to feel the wrath of the internet. The other rap related one, which was also not aired, was Rap Performance, which was also Kendrick for The Heart Part 5. Again, no one's surprised because the other ones on here, Glorilla, Push and P, like in terms of performance, and I think their definition of performance is just from not just strictly how it sounds, but how it performed and how it was all put together. Yeah, The Heart Part 5, the video was crazy. It caught everyone off guard. And honestly, maybe it was just because people weren't expecting it. That's why everyone was all excited about it. Aside from that, we have melodic rap. Did I spell melodic wrong? Interesting. They don't have the melodic rap category on here, do they? Best melodic rap performance. Melodic rap being I think everyone categorizes it as Future or Lil Baby, that sort of sound. And I don't remember who else was nominated for it, but Future won it with Wait For You. Actually, maybe if I just search Future. Okay. See, I categorize things differently. This is probably a better way to look at it. Best rap/sung collaboration. They just changed it to that. Because maybe that sounds better. After that, I have again, none of these were aired, so however you may feel about that. But the other one that was not aired was for best progressive R&B, for Steve Lacy's album Gemini Rights. Now, I didn't listen to that album, but I've heard good things about it, and I truly hope that people didn't vote for it or it didn't get the award just because of TikTok, because Steve Lacy, he sing good. Even though, again, I haven't heard that album, so I can't really say how it was. But yeah. Next we had best R&B album. There it is. I don't know why I wasn't searching, but anyways, this is another album that I did not listen to, and I don't really listen to strictly R&B that often. So Robert Glasper won with Black Radio 3. I do appreciate Robert Glasper, so I'm glad he won. But the other nominees being PJ Morton, Lucky Day, Chris Brown, and Mary J. Blige. Speaking of this, I guess, category, I don't know if anyone else saw, but Zach Fox isn't allowed at the Grammys. But Chris Brown went to IG after the awards and was like, "Who the fuck is Robert Glasper?" And then afterwards apologized to him and basically did the same thing that Macklemore did when he won and Kendrick lost. What do you mean you can't name a single Chris Brown album? There's one right here, Breezy Deluxe. After that, we have a traditional R&B. There it is. I found it. It was between Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Adam Blackstone, Babyface, and Snow Allegra. And again, to no one's surprise, Beyonce won that. Although Beyonce's album, I don't think you can necessarily categorize as strictly R&B, even though this song, I guess you could. It was definitely more of a, I guess, dance album. Yeah, and then the other one that was not aired that I wanted to at least mention was, again, for Beyonce, for best dance/electronic recording for Break My Soul. So, Beyonce won a lot. And I think she now currently has the most Grammys out of any artist, which is just pretty crazy, to be honest. How how many, well, actually, I don't remember how many she has now, but she has a lot. Now, getting to the stuff that was actually, I guess, televised. The Grammys are televised, right? People still watch TV. We have, best R&B. Oh, hey, it's right there. Can we guess? Can we guess who's going to win best R&B album or best R&B song? You're right. It is Beyonce. Yes, Beyonce dropped. So clearly Beyonce is going to win. And again, yeah, sure. I'm not going to argue with it. It's Beyonce. She's going to win. Bad Bunny also won something. They didn't want to just restrict urban music to just black people music. So now it's Musica Urbana. So, they're being more accepting, I guess. But Bad Bunny won there, and that's really not surprising at all because Bad Bunny fucking blew up this year. So much. Yeah, urban. What's wrong with the word urban? I don't understand why people. Never mind. I can't even joke about that. People are whatever. Anyways, the other thing that we probably saw near the top, but best rap album. So even though Pusha T bought rapalbumoftheyear.com, he didn't win. And while we're at it, let's see, rapalbumoftheyear.com, does he still have that? Yep, he does. Ooh, but he took it down because he lost. Well, there's a password to it now. Before that, there was merch. Drake is not allowed. Drake didn't submit anything to the Grammys because he does not believe in the Grammys. He thinks they are a figment of everyone else's imagination, and they don't exist. Drake, among other people, they're pretty against the Grammys, which is not surprising at all. You know what's funny? Beyonce also won Best Dance/Electronica Album. Again, it was definitely more of that sound than anything else. But I'm not someone who listens to dance slash electronic. Like that's not my genre, clearly. So yeah, we already saw record of the year, and we also know album of the year, Harry Styles, because everyone expects Harry Styles to do well, and I kind of expected him to get more awards because he was just everywhere. But it is what it is. The last major award that I saw, and which I thought was pretty neat because they showcased a particular person, was the Global Impact Award, and the award ended up getting named after the person who won it. And the purpose of the award is to recognize contributors, creators, professionals with a track record of uplifting black music. This is also in collaboration, I guess, with, I think it was Black Music Collective, and Dr. Dre won. And now it is named the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, which is pretty dope. I mean, to be fair, like if you think about it, Dr. Dre's done way more, or not way more, but he's done so much for hip hop and just, I guess, black music in general, that is pretty cool. I'm glad that he's getting that recognition, and that it was, what's it called? LL Cool J giving him that award. It was also cool because it was like a black Grammy trophy, and black, all black everything is my whole thing. Now, there was not one other thing. There was a few performances. I mean, I didn't see all of them. I'm not gonna lie. The only ones that I saw outside of the one I'm going to talk about in a second was the one for God Did. God, that I think that I was reading something, and I think it said that it was pre-recorded, which would make sense, obviously, but then I also saw them saying that it happened on the day of the Grammys. So maybe I'm just dumb and can't read properly. That's definitely always an option. But that video was, or not video, that performance was cool. It was Jay-Z just rapping for 3.5 minutes straight, just like he did on the track, and it was an enjoyable listen. But there was one other performance that it was good. It was good, and the thought was there, the idea was there, and sometimes I feel like, yes, you can get away with that, but also, can we do more? And that comes from Questlove, who I guess was like, I don't know how exactly, but they were like, hey, the Grammy committee went up to him and was like, hey, it'd be really dope is if you could do the hip hop tribute, because hip hop turns 50 this year. It actually turns 50 in August, so a couple months early, but fuck it, why not? The Grammys are a big awards show. Everyone cares about the Grammys. No one ever said fuck the Grammys. And it's known for supporting black music and just never capitalizing on it. So why not just do this? Yeah, Mr. Grammy, you're great. It's not like you straight up said no, we're not allowing hip hop in the Grammys like way back in the day, and then also just keep promoting music that isn't like that is basically black music. But anyways, Questlove did this, and it was a great thing. I really appreciated that he did this. Originally he had said that this I guess medley was going to be closer to 20 to 30 minutes long. But then, some of his business partners, I forgot exactly who. I know LL Cool J was one of them. Let's see if I can scroll through and see what their names are again. But, he worked with a few people. They're all hip hop heads. He mentioned it in a, I guess like post Grammys interview with Entertainment. It was, it was a bunch of people kind of all on the same page. And the whole purpose of it was, to bring in just the sound of all 50 years of hip hop so far. Each year has been, well, as it's been progressing, it's changed. And we started out from, in this medley, we had Grandmaster Flash. And then I think he said he wanted to go all the way to Future. Clearly, that's a lot of songs to do. So, understandably, they had to cut it down. But also, why didn't they just do the whole thing? Aside from it just being too long, apparently the costs would be too much. But also, it's the Grammys. They could do it. They could afford to do that. People are going to be watching regardless, and they spend so much money on other bullshit anyway. The other thing was that, as expected, not everyone's going to be able to make it, and then some people are just very against the Grammys, so they're not even going to be there. We see right here that Will Smith couldn't make it because he was recording Bad Boys. Totally understandable. That's way more important than the Grammys. And then we had Lil Wayne and Future drop out last minute, which didn't really make much sense because Lil Wayne was there for the God Did performance. And that's why I'm getting a little confused as to when that was done, because if it was done the same day, it's like, why? Why'd you do that? Anyways, aside from that, the overall performance was good. It's very hard to find online. I did find it on Twitter. It is a 13-minute video. We're not going to watch it during the recording because, copyright and that whole thing. But we will definitely watch it afterwards. But for me, the overall performance was fine. It was really the pacing to me that was kind of off to me. So, we started out with the early days. We started out with 80s. I think right after Grandmaster Flash, we had Run DMC. Actually, it opened with Black Thought, which I thought was dope. Black Thought's getting way more attention and recognition just in general, so I'm happy for him for that. And actually, I think on this it does say, I don't know why I was just trying to go off the top. It says it says who performed in which order, but as you can kind of look at this, we have early stuff, 90s, like late 80s, 90s, and then keep going. We got 90s. We got, that wasn't, I guess that, he did perform AT Aliens, but that threw me off too, because it's like, okay, why? You couldn't convince Andre 3000 to show up? And actually, I really liked when Method Man was performing because it just panned over to Jay-Z and he's like rapping along with it. So I thought that was kind of cute. But we got that, and then we got Blow the Whistle. Andre was not there. I think 3 Stacks is also against the Grammys. But also, I think he just likes to stay inside. But anyways, it started to lose momentum for me when it got to Busta Rhymes, to be completely honest. And that's only because he started to do his verse from Look at Me Now, which it's a good verse, but it's so out of place when you have all these early days of hip hop sounds, and then you're like, go stupid fast. So that kind of threw me off. They started bringing it back with Missy and Nelly, and then we had the Locks, which was fine. I appreciate that the Locks came out, but then Lil Baby also just kind of threw it off. And part of me thinks that maybe in between here, that's where maybe right over here, somewhere here, we would have had Lil Wayne, and then right after the Locks, we may have had Future. Even that doesn't really make sense. You're going from the Locks to Lil Baby. That's a good 10-year jump, at least. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, the order makes sense for the most part. It's just, and it flowed really well. It's just, there's a few spots where it's okay, cool. And then having Glorilla after or before Uzi kind of threw me off too. Yeah, it was interesting, but bringing it all back. Now, on one hand, like, yes, I appreciate that they did this. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to do anything for hip hop turning 50, because, you know, they haven't done anything in the past, and they never really thought about doing anything in the past because, you know, why would we want to promote this music even though it's getting everyone a lot of money and we're profiting off of it? We shouldn't give them any sort of recognition because, you know, fuck hip hop. But here it's like it's weird, right? Like, are they? No, I was gonna say the committee has changed, and there are different people on it. I know, like they've really tried a lot harder to get a more balanced committee, but still, it's like it's still so. It feels weird. It feels wrong almost for them to like want to do this. Like it feels like they're doing this because they have to almost. And because it feels like they're doing what they have to, or they're doing this because they have to, like that's why I feel like, oh, maybe they just cut it so short and it's like so out of like all over the place because of that. I don't think that's necessarily true, but you know, that's kind of my thought looking from the outside. Aside from that, we also didn't get as much representation across the board as some people would have liked. And I kind of feel the same way to some extent, because if you look at it, like it's pretty East Coast heavy, you know? Like, okay, the only, like we have Scarface, so we got Texas, we have Big Boy, so we have Atlanta. Then Nelly's in there just kind of throw things off. We got the Bay Area with Too Short, but it's like there's not a whole lot of West Coast. There's not really anything from the South, which, you know, would have. I mean, I guess we have Lil Baby and Glorilla, but that seems a little weird. And then obviously no Lil Wayne, which, I mean, now that I understand that he wasn't, or he was supposed to be there and he couldn't, or he like dropped out, that's more understandable. But it's like, those are pretty big parts of hip hop, I feel, and it just feels like that's weird. There's also no Detroit, I just realized, which, you know, Eminem also is not really a big fan of the Grammys, so it's not surprising, but you couldn't have got, well, I was going to say you couldn't have gotten Royce, but Royce is just Eminem's best friend. Yeah, let's just say that. But you know, it almost feels like there's other, there's no Tigris. Like there's other things that they could have added in, and it really does feel like they focused a lot on the beginning part of it, which again, totally fine. That's kind of where hip hop started. So they're like, here, let's at least get you some of the early stuff and like kind of do more of a history lesson, I guess. But I don't know. It just felt off. They did say though. They did say in this article, I believe. Well, also, LL Cool J did say that, like before the performance even started, he's like, hey, we we know that we don't have everyone here, so it's okay. But then Mr. Harvey Mason Jr., the chief executive of the Recording Academy, said that a full 2-hour celebration of hip hop hosted by the Grammys was being planned for August. Now, I don't like that it says was, because that makes it sound like they're not going to do it now, but I'm still hopeful. If they actually do it, that's going to be crazy, and it's going to be full of just everything, and I think that's dope. That's exactly what I was just saying too. Like, we needed to not only represent the various eras of hip hop, but also its regionalism. Like, there's so many different sounds in hip hop. I feel like E40 would have loved to do this, but here's all the people who don't go to the Grammys. Apparently MC Hammer is one of them. But then Puff Daddy, Lil Kim, 50 Cent, Eminem, Nicki Minaj, Kendrick. But that was weird because Kendrick was there. So it's like, Or maybe he's just, no, never mind. They're just saying Drake is the only one who boycotts. Never mind. So then I don't know what Eminem was doing. He's just probably trying to find a way to like wrap like around everyone else's head and just make them feel dumb and then hate hip hop. Unless you're a white person, then you probably love it. Anyways, that was what I had to talk about regarding that. There was just one other major bit of news that I wanted to bring up before I stop recording, and that is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has some new nominees for this year, including Kate Bush, Missy Elliott, Cyndi Lauper, Rage Against the Machine, Sheryl Crow, and the White Stripes. And, aside from that, I'm pretty sure that there was supposed to be something else in there. Potential induction later this year. So the other one that I was mostly looking at was A Tribe Called Quest. Yes, there are people who are way overdue for this. And honestly, calling it calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is very interesting given how much hip hop is being put into it now. I think it's kind of changed into more of like the Music Hall of Fame. But if they're going to continue to call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, maybe we should also have a Hip Hop Hall of Fame. This is actually a topic that I did a speech on a few years ago, like in one of my communications classes, where it's like, the Roots should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and if not, we should create a Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Something like that. But, I mean, regardless, the main reason for me to bring this up is just shout out to them. Like, Tribe and Missy Elliott, great. I don't see why not. I think it's dope. I think it's dope that they're up for nomination. I think it's dope that they're potentially going to get it. And yeah. Yeah, I guess. But that is mostly all I had to say about everything today. It was a lot of Grammy talk, and I realized that I kind of just talked a bunch about nonsense. But I'm gonna leave that there. If you are watching the stream live, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. But if you're watching this recording on YouTube, or if you're listening to it wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure you check out twitch.tv/bar4bar podcasts, where I just do random nonsense after I'd record. And, do all the normal things where you like, subscribe, and tell people how great my voice is, because a lot of people like to do that, and I really appreciate it.